Hey everybody, Demon Hunter here, bringing you a Tier 10 fight on Severogorsk. I probably butchered that name. Do not know how to pronounce that to this day. But anyway, here I am in my T110E4. You can see it's a pretty decently stacked Tier 10 game. Looks like we've got 5 Tier 10s per side. We do have a slight tank destroyer advantage with the Tier 10s. Now, if you'll notice, this was actually the first game that I played since the 8.11 update came out. And I don't know why, but for whatever reason, it reset the ammo loadout I had chosen on this tank. So I only have 5 armor-piercing rounds, and the other 22 rounds are all high explosive. Obviously, I usually prefer the armor piercing, and I only keep maybe 2, maybe 3 high explosive rounds just for those open turreted tanks, tank destroyers, and artillery. Unfortunately, I didn't notice that until I was already in the battle, so I'm going to have to go ahead and make it work this time. You can see the T110E4 has pretty decent speed. Does kind of struggle going up the hill. You see the top speed there got kind of cut in half going up that hill. I decided to go over to the 0 line. I figured that's going to be where I'm best protected. Only having 5 armor piercing rounds, I kind of felt a little vulnerable in this match. And it looks like we have a pretty good force headed the other way anyway, so I really feel like I made the right decision here. Although we do have our T110E3 and a couple Tier 9s headed up that way as well. It looks like that Patton is by himself against that T54E1 and the WZ111. So I'm going to go there. It looks like the T54E1 on our team had the same thought. That's awesome. There is some lag in this video, so I want to go ahead and apologize for that. It was server lag that I had during the fight. I thought the T54E1 had fired. I kind of didn't remember that he was an autoloader at that point in time. I probably shouldn't have pulled forward out in the open like that in front of him. I did try to take a shot at the WZ and it bounced off of him. Bounced a shot, 2 shots from the T54E1, put a nice shot into him. Back off to let me reload. I probably backed up a little further than I needed to. That hill would have pretty much covered me. And I accidentally got in that Patton's way there. And the WZ backs off, and I look, and I'm able to get a good shot into the side of his turret. Another decent roll, still below average on both of them. Remember, the average for this tank is 750 per shot. Now you'll notice I only have 2 armor-piercing rounds left, and I just started, so that's not good. But I'm able to secure the kill on the WZ-111 and back off to reload. Now you'll notice in the chat that it says that I'm spotted. That's part of the mod that I have installed that will automatically post in chat where I've been spotted. It kind of just lets everybody else know where there are tanks that can spot me. And get spotted again. I only have 1 armor piercing left, but we'll see what we can do. And went out a little too far, got my track blown off by the T32 and had to repair my track. That's not where I wanted to sit with all those tanks there. Take a clutch shot at the T54E1 and it bounces. Those tanks have such troll armor. I've bounced several shots from Tier 10 tanks in my T69, the Tier 8. Take another shot from that T32, he blows off my track again. Put another shot into him. At this point I'm shooting HE, so you can see it only did 370 damage, which is really about half of what it can do with armor piercing. He would have been very close to dead if I had my armor-piercing rounds with that one shot. But he exposes his cupola, and we're able to take him out with another shot. Little bit of a waste of a shot. Only 138 damage for that round. The rounds on this tank aren't cheap. But I needed to do that in order to keep this Patton alive. He's almost dead. And the Patton takes out the IS-3, and looks like we're pretty open, so I'm going to pull around here. And as I'm pulling around, I didn't see this guy, but there's a mouse there. He takes a shot at me and thankfully misses, and now my sixth sense kicks in, so you can see there is a delay there. I pull down and try and take a clutch shot at him and totally miss that shot. It would have been awesome if I hit that shot. Pulled down, and I didn't want to go out of the cover of this mountain just because the arty's still in the play. So I backed up while I was reloading. As soon as I reloaded, I decided that I'm going to go try and find that mouse. And as I pull down, oh shit, a full health Wolfentrager E100. Take a shot at him, clutch, does a great roll, 1041. Now the nice part is he is considered an open turreted tank destroyer, so those HE rounds have a very high effect on him. You can see I've bounced a lot of those shots from that Wolfentrager. Take another shot at him, and it rolls high again because of that open turret, and I'm able to take him out. I did take a lot of damage there, but I was able to live. And I took another shot from that mouse, and still able to live. Unfortunately, I had to use my repair kit a lot earlier in the game to repair my track to keep me out of the way of enemy fire there, so I had to wait. But that's okay. I go down, I get a nice shot into the side of the turret, and, you know, like a noob, I decided to try and ram a mouse in a T110E4. Now, granted, if I had more armor-piercing rounds, that shot into the side of his turret would have been the killing shot on him. Honestly, I'm just kind of hoped for the best with the ram. I know that the mouse is a lot heavier than me, but I figured with the speed I was probably going to do a little more damage than I did. You can see on my XVM mod here that I only actually did 17 damage when I rammed him. And I think I had like 100 left. Yeah, 105 left. So definitely was a stupid move on my part. To be fair, the mouse probably would have turned around and shot me anyway before I could reload. But that's okay. You can see I did 4,841 damage in this fight. Went ahead and switched over to the FV215B183. Not for any reason other than it's one of my favorite tank destroyers in the game. I wasn't exactly sure what he was looking at, but I noticed that there was one of the enemy tanks spotted kind of in the direction he's looking, over in the, looks like the C or D 7 or 8 area. He's a good player. I'm not exactly sure why he's poking his front out like that. I would have personally side-scraped along that building and only exposed my turret, which is kind of what he starts to do, and then he decides to go the other way. And I just kind of follow this guy the rest of the battle here, just to finish out the fight. I didn't want to retreat to the garage after such a good game. I wanted to see how it ended. So the FV215-183 sees the Tiger II and immediately turns around and heads back for me. Definitely wants the kill there. Not entirely sure I would have risked it, just because he could have taken a pretty nasty shot from that Tiger II and essentially ended the game for him right there. The Tiger 2 was taken out. Then our Tiger 2 actually goes and takes out their Artie, which is great. Good job by that Tiger 2. He really could have saved this FV-215 from destruction. He is definitely a one-shot from that Tier 9 Artie. I think I actually looked away from the computer at this point. That's why I didn't move the camera too much. I'll go ahead and switch it and move it around here just so you can see what he's looking at. He's looking for that RHM, the Borsig now, who's also a good player. You can see on the XVM stats he's in the green, which, if I remember correctly, it's anything with a WN8 rating of 1250 or higher is to get into the green. And RHM kills somebody, lights himself up with that shot, and the 183 is able to take him out. And that is the end of that match there. A very good match. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay after plates for that fight. And this looks like it was our first class mastery badge. We earned 3,230 experience and 83,909 credits. Looks like we did secure 3 kills, doing a total of 4,841 damage, which was actually the highest on the team. Considering my loadout at the time, I was pretty concerned that that wasn't going to be anywhere near the case. Anyway, I fired 11 shots, of which 10 were direct hits, but only 8 penetrated. If you remember, that very first shot on that WZ bounced, and then I bounced one off the T54E1 as well. Everything after that was a penetrating shot. I did 4,841 damage. I received 13 hits, only 7 penetrated, 6 did not, and I received a potential damage of 5,780. And really, I mean, I've got to say that's pretty impressive, considering that the tank itself only has 2,000 hit points. So I really would have died almost 3 times in that fight if that Wolfenträger E100 had actually was able to penetrate more shots. So after repairs and everything with the premium account, I was still able to net a profit of 51,709 credits. And I'm overall really happy with that game. I was a little scared with the loadout at the beginning. Only having 5 armor piercing, I was pretty sure I was screwed. But it ended up working out in my favor, especially when it came up against that Wolfenträger E100, having that open turret. That I really couldn't have asked for a better time to only have high explosive left. And I was able to take him out in 2 shots and avoid dying myself. But that's it for this one, guys. Like I said, I just kind of wanted to show this one off. This was just something that, even though the odds kind of seemed like they weren't in my favor personally, I was still able to pull it together and get a really good result. Yeah, well, that's the end of this video, guys. If you liked the video, please consider rating it down below. Also, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you did, to help spread the word. And I will be putting more of these videos up. I do have some replays that have been sent in to me from a couple of my subscribers already that I do need to go through and look at still. I apologize to my subscribers there for taking a little bit of time. It's been a pretty busy week for me, though. So yeah, on that note, folks, thank you very much for watching, and you guys have a great day.